And as far as like atmosphere goes and optic wise compared to other teams, I think this is probably the happiest I've been in terms of playing and practicing the game comfortably. And it's the most freedom I've had on any team in terms of shot calling and champion pool, everything like that. So I feel honestly really blessed to be on optic right now.
Well, it's the start of LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware. The very first day here, and I'm talking to Dardoch, who up until 24 hours ago, I didn't think I was going to be able to talk to him, but you are here today. So what happened? What brought you here?
A lot of technical difficulties on the LCS roster side, so I guess we didn't have access to Arrow because of visa issues. So of the roster we had to use, which was essentially Crown and Asta, we figured that the best people to match that were who Asta has been practicing with, which is the Academy roster. Yeah. So that's pretty much the only thought process. We threw in everybody just to make Asta and Neo feel comfortable, pretty much.
Well, and then it ended up working, clearly, because you guys beat CLG on stage. And a lot of people were saying, like, well, okay, CLG's, they got to win. They got to beat this team because it's like an Optic Academy lineup, and then you got Crown. It's like, whatever this is. But then you guys ended up winning. What allowed you to do that?
Honestly, our macro game was a bit better. I think our draft was very good, and we understood the conditions of what we needed to do to win the game. And I think we communicated really well around our windows, and I think we just played very well.
How much of this was Optic like stepping it up and looking like badasses, and how much of it was CLG having a rough start? Let's put it that way.
I don't particularly think CLG has the individual skill aspect over my players particularly, but from my POV, I thought we had a coin flip's chance to win the game. I thought it could go either way because I just don't know how strong CLG is. I'm not scrimming LCS teams rather. So, yeah, I thought we had a good chance to win, and we just played our game. So,
I mean, where do we go from here? I assume you guys are playing tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we were playing both games this weekend, and then I'm not sure what is going to happen for week 2, but presumably the LCS roster goes back to normal, I would assume. I have no idea. But for now, I'm just focused on this weekend.
Remind me who you guys play tomorrow?
FlyQuest.
Okay. Do you think you have a chance against them?
Yeah, we have a chance against anybody, I think.
So if you went up against TL or C9, the Optic, the Frankenstein roster of you playing with Crown for like the second game ever, you guys could beat them as well.
We've got a small percentage chance to win any game versus any team at any moment.
Okay.
It's a video game at the end of the day.
That is true. I apologize. I should not have taken such shock from that statement. What has it been like since you joined Optic? Because I haven't had a chance to talk to you since you joined the team.
Honestly, it's been great. The organization treats me really well. My teammates are great. We get along very well, at least in the Academy team. And even though we have had a rough start, we're 1-3 in Academy right now. Well, 2-3, I guess, if you count our LCS debut. We are on the more positive side, and everybody's just, I don't want to say just trying to have a good time, but we are improving at a rate that we're happy with, and we're just not mad at each other, I guess.
Yeah. How sensitive are you to jokes around you being on like a bunch of different LCS teams every split?
I couldn't care less.
Okay. Great. Let me think of one. Okay, so it seems like you've been playing musical chairs around the LCS. You've now landed on Optic. How long should we expect to see you here?
I would presume as long as they would like to have me, probably for the duration of my contract, I would assume. And anything further or less would probably become, something to be negotiated in private, I would assume. So I can't give you a clear end date on my stay on Optic, but presumably I would, do the duration of my contract.
It's a very serious answer to a very not serious question, but I appreciate it. Okay, so you're here. I mean, how are things behind the scenes? Like, how does this team compare to some of the other teams that you've been on from like a general atmosphere and vibe thing, especially given that you're more playing with the Academy guys?
As far as the general atmosphere goes, the main goal of the Academy team is pretty similar to LCS teams, which is just improve as much as possible and be the best you can possibly be. But the end goal is where it differs, right? Because in Academy, I don't want to say we don't care if we win or lose, but the main goal of Academy is to promote, right, and improve. So at the end of the day, I know that my end-term goal as a professional player is not going to link up with that of like Neo or Asta, for example, right? Because he is purely in the growth stage of his career trying to become the player he wants to be and meet an LCS team that is going to welcome him, you know what I mean? But for me, it is quite literally a get out as fast as possible endeavor, but I'm not. That doesn't mean that I'm unhappy in Academy. And as far as like atmosphere goes and optic wise compared to other teams, I think this is probably the happiest I've been in terms of playing and practicing the game comfortably. And it's the most freedom I've had on any team in terms of shot calling and champion pool, everything like that. So I feel honestly really blessed to be on optic right now.
I mean, it's good to hear that you're having such a good time. Speaking more broadly about Optic itself, and I know, again, you're generally on Academy, but a lot of people have been placing Optic relatively low in the power rankings. Predictions don't seem to favor Optic. I don't think Optic, at least today, was predicted to do this, especially after the change. What do you think of the general sentiment that Optic is not like a top-tier team right now?
Like I said, I haven't been practicing with the LCS roster or against other LCS rosters, so I can't really speak to that. But I can answer in a meme and say that we are undefeated. So,
Yeah, okay.
you know.
Undefeated, that's true. After the first day, undefeated, that's true. What would you say to anybody out there who's just, they're excited to see you play today, they want to see you go forward, any Optic fans out there, anything you say to anybody out there?
Well, just thank you for the support. If you were on the side of supporting us today, thank you very much before the win. I know a lot of people were at our necks for being players in the game, I guess, for some reason. But a lot of people were unhappy with us when we got subbed in today, and I'm grateful for the people who weren't.
Well, thank you so much, Dardoch, for the interview. Looking forward to seeing what the future holds for you. Obviously, we'll see you tomorrow, but curious to see what happens after that. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that interview. It's so good to be back at LCS, creating all this content for you. I do want to give a big shout out to Alienware for their support of my LCS coverage this year. By the way, I don't know if you've been watching LCS, but they also sponsor LCS. How cool is that? If you might have missed some of the commercials around their new Area 51M. It's this badass desktop replacement laptop. I'm going to see if I can get my LCS editor to show some footage of that right now. Maybe that's what you're seeing. Regardless, just go check out their stuff. There's a link in the description, dell.com/Travis. They've been helping me out. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to more 2019 coverage with all of you.